All right, how's it going, everyone? So today we're going to be we're going to be continuing to make my space station, and then we might also launch some separate satellites. I hope that's the right save. Pretty sure it is. But yes, we're going to be continuing to work on this station. And if I remember correctly, I do I do have a pod dock to it right now. So, oh yes, this is my dragony kind of thing that kind of exploded on its way up to orbit the station. It got there, so I mean, it's good. Yes, I believe I have a module ready to launch, and I don't remember exactly what it is. So let's go in here and look. I really don't. I believe I was launching it on Vega communication Kerbal station. I launched the original station on a Vega launcher. It's not that one, because that's the original station. Yeah. I could have swore I saved it. Cosmos Moon Probe V2. Might also send some probes to the moon today. Don't know. Depends what we have time for. My main goal was to launch the second part of the station. That's it. Kerbal Station Module 2. And I remember the issue I had with this one was it won't fit on any of my current rockets, so we might have to design a launcher for this. Because I don't believe it fits on my Cosmos, or on Vega, and Cosmos is smaller than Vega, so it definitely won't fit on that one. Unless I designed a bigger one that I'm not remembering. I haven't played on the save in a little while. So we'll do... Well, load up the Vega launcher. Actually, I might just be able to merge it, yeah. And we can see the issue I'm having here. So that's the root part there. Ah, that's good. No. Make that the root. Then I'll just delete it. Okay, we can get rid of it. Well, that's how you see. That's how the station's going to fit together. Except I'm probably going to rotate the main module, but we can get rid of that because we're just launching this. But you see these little arms here. They stick out a little bit too far for this fairing because that's as wide as I can go. And we still have docking ports to do that. So I need a bigger payload fairing. But I don't think I have a rocket that big on this save anyway. So we won't save that. We can look. Because Cosmos is smaller. That uses, I don't remember. It's the Russian design parts. These, I don't know the diameter. Um, diameter. Anyway, they're smaller than these, so I know it won't fit on that. I could have swore I had a larger rocket designed. But that could have been one of my older saves. No, currently looks like Vega's the biggest one I have. So we're going to have to either change this design a little bit or make a bigger launcher. I might just change the design a little. What we could do is take off these and then do just normal docking ports. I kind of wanted to have the extra crew capacity though. But that might work a little better, it's just having normal docking ports there. Or we could go with shielded too, that would work. Since this one's got a shielded port on it. Actually like that. That doesn't look too bad. I might replace that shielded one with a normal one too, since the back has the normal. Whoops. Actually doesn't look too bad. And then either on the core module or up here, or both, we could also put solar panels. I might just do that. I would have had to rebuild the fairing anyway because this is quite a bit longer than the normal station. Oh, that's an issue. Currently, when we dock this to the station, that would be the part attached to the station. I want that piece to be the one that attaches to the station, so I'm going to have to rotate this and reroute it. Oh, I thought that was a root part. Guess not. That's the root part. Okay, so we're going to rotate this, reroute it. That's the root now. Okay, and then we can attach that like that. Okay, so now when we go to the station, that end will attach, and this will be the outer part. So we can use, my idea was this would be, well, my idea initially was that we'd have these out here so Space Shuttle could dock easily, and this one for crew vehicles. We already have one port on the station that's optimized for crew vehicles. But I guess just one for crew vehicles would probably be fine, and then we can use these for other utility things, either what they're called, the thermal ones, the radiators, or solar panels, depending on what we want to do. So let's build this fairing. I'm still gonna have to go all the way out. Yeah. I'm actually going to angle it up a bit like that. There we go. And then we start closing in. This thing looks strange. I don't like that. I'm gonna make it a bit more pointy. There we go. That looks a little, still looks weird, but it'll work. How much clearance do we have? I might be able to make that a little smaller, actually. We'll just start over. Build fairing. Let's see. Yeah, I can go down to there and still not have it stick out, so we'll do that. There we go, that looks a little more reasonable. And then one thing before we take off, I'm going to make sure this is auto strutted down to the heaviest part, that way we don't have wobble. Okay, and then this would be Kerbal Station Module 2 with the Vega launcher. Sweet. And we should be good to go. We have crew aboard the space station that are there to quote-unquote install this, so that shouldn't be an issue. We don't need to launch any crew. We can just go ahead and switch editors and get ready to launch this thing. Oh, I will do one more thing. I'm going to reroute this to here. So that's our main part when we're launching. Let's get this centered on the pad. There we go. And I believe we are ready to launch this. So I'll just save that real quick. Make sure my staging's correct. That's always a good thing to do. So yeah, fire main engines. Do a couple of those. Couple of that. Upper stage engine and fairing. Yep, okay, we're good. So go ahead and roll this out to the pad. Gotta love the new textures, man. They look so nice. Okay, then we can go into map view. And the station is pretty much right overhead, which is not ideally what we want. Because then we'd be playing catch up. So I'm going to fast forward this guy around till he's like around here. Because then when we launch, we should be fairly close to an interceptor right off launch. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Oops, not RCS. SAS. I did set it as target, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's our target. We're good to launch. Bit off pad, that way we don't crash right back into it if something fails. This rocket does like to wobble a little bit for some reason on the pitch axis. I've noticed. It's also way overbuilt for what I'm launching. So it has way more fuel than it would ever need to get this in here. I'd move it fully fueled because I don't bother with that kind of stuff. I need it a little more pitched over here. Those and crash into each other like normal. No, we're about at our target already. Target altitude. So pitch it all the way over, pretty much horizontal, so we can get the most velocity out of this first stage. That's pretty good. I'll wait till we get to 100. There we go. Alright, what's our closest intersect right now? 200 kilometers, that's decent. It'll get much better once we do a insertion burn. Make the periapsis a little lower. 86, that should be fine. And then when we do a once around, we should be good. Ditch that stage. Fire up the RCS just for a second. Just to get away from this. And then we can fire up the second stage engine. fairing, and then we'll start burning. We can also deploy the solar panels at this point. We're going to be ahead of our maneuver node, but it doesn't really matter. It'll be fine. This engine doesn't have much thrust. Let's see how much does it have. 375 kilonewtons, so it takes a while to burn. But it's very efficient, so it's worth it. It's I believe that's the Apollo Command Service Module engine from the Making History DLC. Very good fuel efficiency. In orbit, and we finished 12 seconds before we were even supposed to start burning, but whatever. That's going to be an issue. Bring that up a little so we don't crash into the freaking planet. Actually, I could probably bring that up and get my maneuver node closer. Nope. 95, that's good enough. 36 meters per second. Yeah, I kind of botched that insertion. Whoops. How far away are we? 85? That's better than it was. It was at 200. Okay. 2-second burn. Yeah, and like I said, we have way more fuel than we'll ever need. I don't even think we used like 3/4 of the first stage's fuel, so yeah. This rocket's way overbuilt, but it's the correct size, so yeah, it's the correct diameter for the payload, so might as well use it. Go ahead and warp to this. This one I will wait till the correct time so we don't mess it up. I was a little skeptical to do that on the last burn just because I've had issues with this before where I waited too long and we just about fell back into the atmosphere before I could get into orbit. Okay, that's my target. 95, and this is at 148, so we're going to be going slower than the station, which means it would be catching up to us, which is good because it's behind us. Because that's how circles work. So after this encounter here, it should, or intersect this, then should close. Well, maybe. No, it got bigger. Crap. That means I did it backwards. Oh no, did it get smaller? Intersect 2, 96. 116. It definitely got bigger. Whoops. It should be getting smaller though. The station's behind us. Hold up. Unless I'm completely thought of that wrong. That is definitely getting bigger. Okay. Well, Well, I don't want to wait forever for this, so let's see if we can just force it. Should get rid of that. Should be able to make it fairly close. Yeah. I just gotta line up the time correctly. And make sure I don't accidentally deorbit this. So where's the periapsis on this? 44, that's not gonna work. Needs to be, what, like 75, I think, is not in the atmosphere, hopefully. 79, that should be good. But that's not going to give me enough change to make it work. Okay. Okay, the station passed us, so now we need to speed up in order to catch it. So I will do this. Bring our apoapsis back down below. Or equal to. No, I'll do a little below. So that's at 95, and that's at 95. We'll go a little bit lower. We'll go like 80. That didn't do anything. I pulled it. There we go. $83, that's good enough for me. Let's see, what, 50 meter per second burn? Not too. In 26 minutes. I ain't waiting that long. How are we doing on battery power? Oh yeah, I forgot it. I forgot those big things were on there. Don't really have to worry about battery power. Alright, that should be good. And now we should be catching back up to the station. Slowly but surely. What was the distance on this intersect? 200? There we go, that's much better. Down to 100, so it should be pretty close to 0 after this next orbit. And then we can fine tune it. Let's see, what's that? 18 kilometers? I can work with that. So let's see, this is on the station's apoapsis side. Where's my... Okay, my periapsis is over here. So I believe this is... Yeah, it's a little lower than the orbit. So if I increase the altitude over here, we should probably get closer intersect distance. 27. $11 kilometers. Should increase if I increase the altitude, I would think, but maybe I need to move it. There we go. me try it here. Honestly, I just mess around with this stuff till it works how I want it to. That's 30. I mean, what's that without a maneuver? What was it, 18 kilometers? We can work with that. At 59 meters per second. I might just do that. I might just wait till it gets to there and then just burn until we're equal. Then we'd be, what, 20 kilometers away? I can just burn straight at the target once we equalize our velocities. Because none of this is working really how I want. How'd that work? 7 kilometers, that's better. Nope. 11. Come on, I know I can get closer than that. I had it at 7 a second ago. 12. Nope, that's the wrong direction then. $7.9. 8.4. Whatever, that's good enough. It's only 3 meter per second burn. And then we'll just equalize and burn straight towards the target. Okay, so that's in 5 minutes. And go ahead and warp to there. It's a 0.2 second burn. I might just use the RCS thrusters on this one, honestly. I have an abundance of fuel for those too. And this one actually doesn't have any tanks or batteries. So this entire module is entirely dependent on the space station or a support craft. The base module for the space station actually has, I don't think it has thrusters, but it does have fuel tanks. I think it has a small liquid fuel tank and a RCS fuel tank. So we can do a little refueling on the station right now. Another module I'm going to send up eventually is going to be a dedicated module for fueling the station. I just missed that burn entirely. Whoops. Oh well. How'd that do? 8.3. Whatever. Good enough. Alright. And yes, we'll be docking in the daylight. That is what I like. So I'll go ahead and warp here. We are relative to target, so that's good. And then I'll set this to retrograde relative to target. So we can cancel out our velocity when we get within 8 kilometers. Or whatever our closest approach is. We only have a relative velocity of, it's still going down, 23 meters per second. I don't know what the actual one at intercept is. 11.5. So we don't have much speed to kill. Yeah. Well, this is a little bit farther than I like, but I kind of botched the orbits on launch, so not much I can do. Yeah, 8.9. Wait till we get a little closer here. 8.5, 4, 8.3 is the closest. It'll take me like a second to bleed off that velocity, and then we can burn towards target. Yeah, 8.3. So I'll start burning there. Wait till that gets zeroed out. Actually going a little bit away from target now. They'll face directly towards the target. Maybe. I don't really want to use the RCS thrusters because it'll throw off my orbit a little bit. Not much. It should be fine, but I prefer not having to deal with that. Okay, and then we'll burn towards target at, 20 meters per second. And that should increase our intercept to still 7.5 kilometers. Dang, that's pretty far. Okay, I might increase the speed a little bit then. We'll go like 50-ish. There we go. And that'll make it faster. That one's only 1.2 kilometers now. So when we get 1,200 meters away, we'll be going, 35 meters per second. That shouldn't take too long. Get a little closer here. Where is target? There it is. So after we put this module on, we're going to go start designing the next module, and we might also cycle out the crew that's on the station right now. Alright, go ahead and kill this velocity. There we go. Point it back at the target. Man, I love docking. It's so much fun. Especially when you mess up the orbits initially. Okay. This time we'll go a little slower towards the target. And do like 20 meters per second. Still way faster than I should probably do it, but it's fine. And let's see, and then our closest approach is an impact, so 0 kilometers at 20 meters per second here, coming up fairly quickly. So we'll get ready to slow down again. And then I think after this one, we should be good to just use the RCS thrusters. We shouldn't need to use the main engine anymore. I might transfer the fuel from this stage, or at least most of the fuel from this stage, back into the capsule I have at the station right now, just because I had the fuel flow messed up, and it also got damaged on launch, so it needs all the help it can get. Okay, let's point back towards target, about 100 meters away. The top docking port is our target. So, okay. Turn RCS on. And I'm going to control from that docking port, because that's what we're going to be used to dock. I hold this at normal. Sweet. We need to go towards the station. Is that direction? And we also need to go up. We should have plenty of monoprop. Yeah, we got tons. Got monoprop for days. I believe we're above it now. So, okay, I'm gonna flip this, which is gonna make my controls go backwards, which is gonna be confusing. Okay, I keep hitting my buttons backwards. I'm sorry if I'm not talking much, it's just I'm focusing on the task at hand, and I have not done docking in a little while. we got it touching. Just gotta rotate it around. Hopefully it'll go. Boom, docked. Sweet. That was painful. Cycle the lights. There we go. It's not quite perfectly lined up, but that's good enough for me. Okay, so this thing, that has full fuel. Oh god, did not want to do that. Okay, I'm going to... how do I set this? Aim camera, there we go. Okay. Does this thing have fuel? Does the actual craft itself have fuel? No. Decent. This thing's a mess. I really need to work on it some more. I actually don't even think all of the crew's in it. Is there crew in here? Yes, there is. Get back in there. Is there crew in here? Yes, there is. Get back in your pod. And then... Is there anyone in... Whatever, I looked in there. Double check to make sure. Oh, I thought I transferred you. Everyone should be in the pod then. Yes, looks like it. And we're gonna bring these guys home on the next orbit that gets close to the KSC. I don't know. Great. It's in the dark, so I'm going to... Oh, I just meant the Space Center, not necessarily the tracking station. Alright, oh, I guess I could have done it in there. Didn't see that. I'm just going to warp to the next day. So it's morning, and then we'll bring those guys home and start working on the next module for the space station, which I think is going to be probably either a science module or some bigger solar panels. Because right now we currently only have the 2 little tiny ones on there. Just got those guys. And then whatever's on the craft that's docked and I guess the second stage of the Vega launcher, but that's obviously not going to be permanent, along with the pod is not going to be permanent. Oh, we're right over the station. So we'll go ahead and let me just make sure we don't got anyone. No crew. Good. Well, there won't be any crew on there. No crew. I guess I can just look on here, can't I? Transfer crew. All 3. Good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and undock. Does it have to be that one? Undock. Okay, so these guys are free from the station. Turn on that, turn on that. Only 1 solar panel because, like I said earlier, it got damaged on launch. That's what I get for flying a untested craft, even though I thought I tested it. Close the docking shield. This should be the primary fuel source now, hopefully, because it was using the tanks under the pod. This is roughly designed on SpaceX's Crew Dragon. So, okay, let's see, deorbit. So we're going to want to add a maneuver. Aim about there, hopefully, maybe a little farther. I'm actually going to aim like middle of the ocean because the planet rotates. So by the time we get over there, this will be rotated. I might have to adjust it again, but that should be good to at least get us in our configuration for our deorbit burn. This thing's designed to land on land, but it can also land in the ocean. So I'll really just take whatever we can get since it's already damaged. I just want to get these guys down. I considered not even having them on the station, just aborting the mission, but I figured we could at least get them. Whoops. No. Don't do that. Go away. What did I do? Oh, I set the station as target. Whoops. Oh, whatever. Okay, so we'll deorbit there. I'm just going to move it super far ahead. And then we'll warp to about there. I think we'll probably be good. Should be plenty far away from the station. Set that back to maneuver. Do not focus on target orbit. Let's see, how's that looking? That's going to be too far. So let me move that back to there. That should be good, hopefully. I hope I'm smack into the station. That would be bad. I'm going to do a little translation burn. How much RCS we have? We have plenty. Okay, I can actually use this to see. No, it's still not draining from the right tanks. Okay. So this entire trunk section here is basically useless. This pod does use the engines for landing. It'll land safely without the engines. It's just a really hard impact and it breaks a lot of the parts. It'll like break the heat shield and some of the engines off, but the pod survives. I really didn't want to break any parts. And according to this, we're going to run out of fuel doing this burn. So I'm going to make it a water landing, hopefully. And we're just going to hope for the best, I guess. What do you mean? We have more than enough fuel. Did it drain? It drained out of there. So why aren't the RCS tanks working? That's at negative 21. That's a negative 21. Should be using those. Interesting. It should be using those RCS tanks, but it's definitely not. Okay, whatever. Who cares? We can set this to hold retrograde. We can turn off RCS. We can ditch the trunk now. We don't need it anymore. Turn this on. We'll reorient this to have the parachutes up so they get the least amount of heat. Also set this to hold retrograde until we're farther in the atmosphere. And how are we doing on electricity? Okay, yes, I did put extra batteries in here. So we got 162. So we don't really have to worry about electricity too very much. We are out of fuel, though. I think I set the fuel flow backwards on that. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. So it would drain the fuel from the pod itself's tanks before it would drain it from the trunk. So I need to do that the other way. So it drains it from the trunk first. So hopefully when we get to this stage in flight next time, this thing's fully fueled, has full RCS and full liquid fuel. But like I said, it should be fine. It can it can land without uh, the engines. It just helps to have the engines. It makes the touchdown a little softer because I think without it we touch down around 10 meters per second, which breaks the heat shield, breaks the engines. Luckily, though, we have a lot of cushioning, crushable stuff under the pod and under the heat shield. So the pod it'll be fine, but we might break some stuff. So I'll go ahead and speed this up until we start seeing some flames, and I'll turn off. We can leave on. I'll just leave the stability on until we get to around where we're going to deploy the parachutes. And if I line this up correct, we should just... I think we're going to be a little high. I was hoping we'd drop around here, but yeah, that's not going to happen. If I had fuel, I could burn, but... Boom, yeah. No fuel. So we're going to be a little long. But it's all good. Starting to get plasma blackout, so... Crew is on its own. There's a trunk exploding. What's it, 5 kilometers away? Once I see gray on there, we'll start deploying the chutes. Probably also turn off the stability assist. Great. So we have main chute deployed. This one has 3 parachutes, just like the Dragon as well. Can I jettison the heat shield maybe? I'm gonna wait till the main chute's deployed. Then I'm gonna jettison this, and that should save us a little bit of velocity, so hopefully we don't break as much stuff. Because I didn't shave down this heat shield at all. It still has the full ablator. Because I was planning on sending this to the moon and stuff, so it would have a much higher velocity when it returned. Therefore, you need a bigger heat shield. So I didn't worry about shaving it down to save weight or anything. Plus, the rocket we were on, again, is the Vega launcher. Has so much fuel that it can handle having a big heat shield. It's not an issue. So I'll wait till those fully open, and then I'll drop that off. Otherwise, I'll just get stuck. I don't remember when I had those set to the fully open, but I think it was 800 meters above the surface. Nope, it was 1,000. Okay. Alright, so those are open, so we can jettison that. That should save us a few meters per second on landing. We're still dropping a little. And it'll also show us how close we are to the water. Yep, pretty accurate. I'll just go ahead and fast forward down to the water. It's still going to be a pretty hard impact, so I'm guessing we're probably going to break those engines off. But again, the crew should be fine. Yep. Snap it. That was the only thing that got damaged though, so that's good. So yeah, that was a pretty successful mission, I guess. This mission with the crew was a mess from the start. Definitely need to work on that rocket a little more. Everyone survived, so we can be happy about that. Alright, I'm going to do one more thing before we start designing other stuff, and that's go back to Kerbal Station. And... okay, I believe... I keep doing that. I believe this thing's fuel tanks are full. Yep, that's full. That is not full. Okay. I have the opposite on that side. So that one's full. Monopropellant is not full. Okay, so we're going to transfer the monopropellant from this. Ooh, crap. Never mind. We don't have very much. I used almost all of the monoprop on docking. Okay, never mind then. We'll just deal with not having full tanks of fuel for monopropellant on the station. It's fine. I'll send a refueling vessel at some point anyway. But that'll happen when there's crew aboard, so we're not going to worry about refueling stuff. We're just going to undock that, switch to it, back away from the station, and we're going to deorbit this because it's no longer needed. Let's get it to point retrograde. Yeah, we did not have much fuel left. And then we'll just go ahead and get this out of here so we don't have any space junk. Just exhaust all the fuel, I guess. And then we can see it burn up in the daylight, because that's more fun. I love how efficient this engine is. What's its highest specific impulse? 380 seconds. That's good. It's really good. Freaking terrible on the surface, but really good for space. Okay, just turn off all that, and then fast forward it until it crashes into the atmosphere. Hopefully this lands in the ocean. Yep, looks like it will. Solar panels ripped off, yep. Didn't even get plasma blackout. That's interesting. Not that it matters, because this thing's gonna crash anyway. We can see if we can save it. Do a suicide burn here. I don't know. How much fuel do we have left? Not much. We can try it though. Yeah, oh well, wasn't meant to be recovered anyway. Alright, so we can go back to the Space Center and figure out what we want to do next. I honestly don't know. We'll go to the spaceplane hangar, and I can look up a mock-up of the space station. So let's see. Believe I have a mock-up of the station saved. Yes, Kerbal Station. So we can load that. I'm also, this doesn't have the module, we just launched attached. So I'll merge that onto here. It was that one. Merge, except it wasn't that one because we changed it. So I'll go ahead and do that. Once we attach it, maybe. Okay. Let's see, I have the ladders lined up. There we go. Okay, and this is completely different. So that's no longer there. This is no longer there. This is no longer there. And we just replaced these with couplers because I could not get it to fit inside payload fairing. So that's our Kerbal Station. That's how it looks currently. Probably do a truss segment here. I don't know if I want to do it with fuel or just solar panels. So let's see here. Do that, and then it's probably going to be the smaller diameter ones, the Mark 1s. I could do that. And then put solar panels on that. Or I could do a classic Kerbal Space Program and do, God, I still get lost in the maze. We could do like this and then just do girders out with the solar panels and then mirror it, obviously. Or we could do something with the new robotics parts. Make them extendable, which I might do that. Do we have a big one? It's a decent sized one. How far does this thing extend? That's pretty good. Because then we could retract them and not have to worry about it. If we ever need to move the stations, or why can't I? Oh God, what did I do? Probably just attach that directly. Yeah, that doesn't look as good. But then I could do structural, do a little girder segment here, and then put solar panels on that. And a docking port on the other side. I might do a small docking port. One of the junior ones on this side. Because we currently don't have any junior docking port connectors on the station. And I don't see this needing to be attached. Might have to go with a full size actually. Or we could just do no docking port. Because nothing realistically should be docking to the other side of this. Except for when we're launching it and attaching it. See, that puts it really far out. And it's only 2 of them. So I might do a smaller one of these. That's too small. Same size, smaller distance. There we go. Move that kind of inside there. So then this extends, and then we could do another set of solar panels. I'm awful at menus. I can't ever find anything. You can do another set like right here. Except, does that attach to the piston? I want to attach to this thing. There you go. The only thing with this is those would clip inside each other on launch or while we're storing them. But other than that, I think it looks cool. What I could do is move these in a little. There we go, now they don't clip. They sit really close together, but they don't clip. Alright, so then deployed, that would go out, and these both would extend. But we have an issue with that because that would cover up those docking ports. So I could put this on a motor. I want a bigger one than that. Can I do a servo motor? Yeah. That's tiny. That's also tiny. Is that one big? There we go. That might be too big. That does not like that. Okay. It really doesn't like that. Oh, was it because I have it in symmetry? That could have been. Yep, that was why. So now this is on a servo. And I can, while like on the station, I can actually change the target angle of these so they can rotate the full 360. I might do that. Is there one size smaller? Nope. Because that last one's really freaking big. I think that'll work. And then we can just mirror this on the other side. I don't know. I'll leave that over there. See if I can come up with a different design. Then again, we could always put it up here, but that would interfere with those. Maybe I just need to go with a smaller solar array. We already have these on here. We're really not drawing that much power just from lights and stuff. Unless we're supporting another vessel. So maybe I just need to go with something smaller. So let's try... Let's try some smaller solar panels. We can do that. And just do a little short array. With like, I don't know, you might want to make it a little longer than that. The thing with that is, oh, I forgot about those. Well, I'd probably close those off after we activate these. What if we did, so we have, let me put this back. We could do, I'm going to want the retractable ones. We could do the 3x2s on here. I like how the 1x6s look better though. Those would, yeah, those go through that. So my other idea was, if we did something like this, but have them like back in here. Or alternatively, we could just, on the fuel module that we still need to put on there, I think let's work on that. Work on the fuel module. So, okay, we got this here. We're going to probably want to go one up in diameter. Is it this size one? Nope. Whoops. Oh, what happened to it? Okay. There it is. Probably going to want to go one size up on diameter for fuel tanks. Is this the right side? Nope. Have large RCS tank. That's the wrong size. That one. There we go. Have a large RCS tank, and they changed all the texture, so it always confuses me. That's way too big. That's too small. Is it this size? No. No. This? No. These? No. These. There we go. Let's see, and that hold, how much monoprop does this hold? 750. This holds 720, so that should be, that's a little longer. Ideally, we shouldn't need too much fuel on the station. That's awfully colored. Make that gray. I might do the one longer, actually, than the shortest. Orange doesn't look terrible on that one. Okay, and then on this, we'd have another docking port on this side, and we could do solar panels off of here to help with the electricity. Could do some 1x6s off there. I'm saying these are probably going to be temporary. Either way, I'm still going to do the retractable ones. So we could do that. And then obviously mirror it on the other side. That seems kind of excessive on solar panels, if I'm being honest. So we could just do that. Just put these panels on there. If we wanted to, or put it on the wall. I like that. These seem kind of like they're almost like the like little resupply pods, but they're going to be fairly permanent until I bring a different design up. This is just temporary, so we have extra fuel on the station. We can send something up here, refuel it, and then send it onto the moon or anywhere else. We still need to go to Minmus, all that kind of stuff. So, but these should be good enough for now. And it'll boost our solar a little bit. We have this battery, which has 4,000 electric charge. I mean, it should be plenty good enough for now. I also kind of like how those look. They look nice and clean. I might put, since these have so much monopropellant, I might put some monopropellant engines on here. And yeah, I think I'm gonna put some. Let me just get rid of this one. I'm gonna put a command and control pod on here, remote guidance unit. And some monopropellant engines. That way, these things can be deorbited by themselves. We don't need to bring up another ship to take them out of orbit. So they're pretty much self-sufficient. I could do liquid fuel too if I wanted to. We do have 720. No one uses monopropellant engines though, so let's use some monopropellant engines. I don't even know where they are. Yeah, the puffs. No one uses these guys. They're underrated. So we stick those on there. These honestly look like the escape pods from Star Wars. The only issue I have with this is the docking port being right in the way of engines. Which, if something ever docks onto there, we don't really want. But yeah, these things should be fully self-sufficient now. It's just they wouldn't have a very much electric charge. They can generate electric charge, and I believe these have alternators, if I remember correctly. Do they have alternators? Maybe not. I don't think they do, actually, because this one does. Electric charge minute, yeah. Okay, never mind. Those don't have alternators. So it might need, if we do use those, it would probably need an extra battery. Or extra couple batteries just to be able to deorbit itself or fly somewhere else. Or we could use these guys, because those don't have an alternator either. Crap. What's the other variant of these? Ooh, black, that looks nice. These what 15 or 16 in vacuum. What do the puff ones do? These guys do 9. 250 ISP in vacuum, and these have small nozzles, so I'm guessing it's probably worse. Oh no, 290 in vacuum. I might use these guys instead. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to using these. There we go. So these, I still need a battery. And this can be our little resupply ship for a while, I guess. Because the only thing on the station that's really ever going to need replenished is monopropellant and liquid fuel. We just have to be sure to deorbit these before they're completely depleted of liquid fuel, or have to send up another ship. So basically these little ships will stay up here until their fuel's depleted, and then we'll deorbit them. That should work fine. Need to come up with a name for him, though. And I think as long as they're attached, because these will come up on probably a Vega launcher, as long as we undock, like if we need to deorbit it, as long as we undock them during daytime, it'll have solar panel. We won't really need to worry about the battery, because I don't really want to stick any of these on here. So yeah, that should work fine. We can send up probably 2 of those. And then, let's see. Yeah, 2 of those for fuel. That should be plenty. We can send more up as needed. The only other thing we need would be bigger solar panels, because currently, like, if none of these are up here, that's the only thing powering the station. That's the only source of electricity. So I also want to make it since this is the main crew area, and down here, this is more just for vehicles with dock though. The main thing I'd want to do would maybe put arms out here that facilitate docking a little more. Maybe like, trying to decide how I want to make this, because we could do like a little L here so we could have multiple ships docked here, like in a row, which would be nice. But I'm not quite sure how I would want to make it. So let's go ahead and we'll work on that, I guess. We can get all these modules put together, and then we can launch all this stuff after that. Since these are crew cabins, I might make these crew cabins, or like crew cabins here, and then structural fuselages up to here. So we can go into utility. Different idea. Could do those crew cabins. And then one of these blocks. Do a little block off plate there. Let's see, this would attach in the same way. Okay, and then I don't know if I want to do a structural fuselage there or if I want to do a crew cabin. So we can do that, and then we can also do. I want to keep docking on the sides open. This thing's going to be really strange to launch. Actually, I don't know if that's going to... Oh, wait a second. We have... I was trying to think of how we were going to launch this, because that's definitely not going to fit inside our fairing. But we can... I don't know where it's at. It's in robotics? No. It's not in utility. In here? Oh man, I really don't remember. What's that? Oh. Am I just freaking blind? Where is it? Okay. This thing. Inflatable airlock. That is smaller than I wanted. That would work perfectly. Can I put a docking port on that? No. Never mind, that's not going to work. I could just put a straight docking port there. But then we might have clearance issues over here. So I don't really want to do that. We could do, whoops, that's too big. We could do a little service bay here. Crew's not really supposed to transfer like that. I need something a little shorter. Maybe. I really like how this looks though. You know, I might just do a docking port there. I think that would it would probably work fine. And we can test it. So I'll leave that there. Okay, and then Yeah, we'll save this. I have just the Vega pod somewhere. Yeah, Vega. So we merge that into here. And this is my chunkiest freaking pod I have. So we can see if it fits in here. Can that really not be set as the root? Are you kidding me? That's stupid. I put it in backwards. Okay, if that fits there, it'll definitely fit the other way around. So yeah, that should work fine. That should work out just fine. And we have it open over here too, so if it doesn't fit this direction, or if we have something here, like a space shuttle or something, that's going to be in the way, we can always dock on the side port as well. And then on top of here, I think I'm going to, again, do these block-off plates. Oops, I didn't mean to move that one. Oh well. But I think I'm going to put lights on them. All the way around. So these are wide and low power, which is kind of what I want. So we have lights, so we can kind of see what's going on, hopefully. And I'll just use this part everywhere. And those are angled down slightly, so it should, in theory, light up the station. I'm not gonna do them on there though. I'm just gonna do the normal little block off plate for that one. That's the big one. Whoops. This one. Oh, you can change the color of these? Yeah, sounds cool. Okay, so then we can mirror this on the other side, but we're gonna have to change a couple things. So it's actually mirrored. Just swap these two around. And we're good to go. Sweet. So we got full lighting for docking on this side. Probably going to do another extension module down there eventually. And yeah, so I think eventually, obviously we're going to launch this stuff first because we have two, well, I don't really know if these are modules or their own ships, but anyway, I'm probably going to eventually, I think the next thing is going to be a refinery. So I'm gonna put a refinery down here, and then it'll again have one of the little station cores, and then we can put the large solar arrays in where these fuel pods are, and then we can move the actual fuel pods down to where the refinery is, and the ore tanks and all that stuff. Don't really need a refinery on a Kerbal station because you're probably not going to be bringing minerals back unless you're coming from the moon or Midmiss, but it's something I'd like to have on there just in case we ever need it. It probably won't ever be used, but who knows? It's good to have. But yeah, I think this is where I'm going to wrap up this stream for now. I'll be back on later to start launching these modules up, and then maybe we can start sending satellites to Minimus and stuff like that, and maybe start prepping a base there. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will be streaming again later tonight.